It's me. It's Matty G.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
God, you said that so good. I love when you roll the tongue when you do that. Pause. And this is Class Action.
The classiest movie show on the interwebs. Why did I say classiest? You kind
Classiest.
of classiest. I had to say it like that.
Yeah,
and also the view-shattering podcast.
The view-shattering, future award-winning podcast. Yeah, shout out to everyone who has viewed our last episode of Prey versus Predator, which last I checked, I'm gonna actually double check it now, is our highest watched video on the channel. Currently sitting at 5,400 and something views. That insane.
Is by far the most viewed thing I've ever done.
Same. But Paul has been, shout out to Paul, by the way. Paul can't be here this evening. He's been in LA working with the Schmodown. He needs time to rest. He'll be back with us soon. But for today, it's the what should we call it? The European Court of Film Rights.
The Euro judges are back.
Yes. And yes, Christo, this one has to hit 10K.
Dude, to put it in perspective, because like 5K is not enough in YouTube terms, but like each of our shows usually get 50 views, which is also
we're stoked if it goes over 100 or 200.
Exactly.
Because some of them have done pretty damn well. But for us on Predator versus Prey to hit over 5K views is fucking astonishing. And, shout out to us for doing it. Shout out to everyone who watched, everyone who joined in the chat that night. It was a good time. And I feel like we had probably one of our best conversations with Predator versus Prey. And,
I think it's one of those things. I think the algorithms were in our favor. The algorithm gods.
Hopefully it is with this one, because we've got the re-release coming out next week. So who knows? Maybe this one, as Christo said, will hit 10K. Who knows?
Right. We didn't even talk about our topic today. We are doing two of the best Spider-Man movies out there, in my opinion, and we're pitching Spider-Man No Way Home against Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So live action versus animation.
Is this the first time that this has been done on Class Action? Live action versus animation. Okay.
I can say that with 100% surety. This has never been done. I don't think we've done animated movie versus animated movie, never live action versus animation.
And there was a lot of talk for a while that maybe the animation was going to cross over into this live action film. I do remember there was being like some rumors that maybe like Peter Porker was going to show up or something crazy,
or even Miles Morales.
In some
shape or form.
I don't make the rules, buddy.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know the story, the topless Jarvi story that happened. You know that one, right?
I know. Yeah, I know the topless Jarvi story. We're gonna have to get Andrew and Ben on the show. What's up, Refism? Glad you could join us. Kelly's here as well. Christo, a bunch of our regulars. This is good.
Nice to see all the people here. Yep.
I am dreading how this is going to go, because I had we were talking about it kind of a little bit off air. I came into this thinking that it was going to go one way, and then I watched one of the movies this morning and I was like, this is going to be closer than I thought. So do you want to give a snap judgment?
Sure. I think we already kind of did. I feel like in this case it's totally fair to give it, because on one side you have Spider-Man No Way Home, which a lot of people consider one of the best Marvel movies ever made, one of the best Spider-Man movies ever made.
Isn't it one of like the top grossing? It's like number 4 top grossing movie of all time or something crazy.
It is insane. It is absolutely insane.
Shout out to Top Gun Maverick, which is number 6, by the way.
That's crazy, dude. It's a crazy year. And then there's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of those movies. If you watch it, you feel like this is one of the greatest movies ever made as you're
Oscar
watching.
Winner, no?
It's an Oscar. It won the animation award.
Yeah. So we've got one of the top grossing movies of all time going up against an Oscar winner. And they're both Spider-Man movies.
And they're so similar. They both deal in the multiverse. I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home just took what Spider-Verse did and just, in a way, turned it into live action.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. So your snap judgment would be No Way Home.
My snap judgment is going to be No Way Home. Yeah.
I'm going with
narrow
Spider-Verse.
decision.
I'm going with Spider-Verse. Yeah, because I just finished Spider-Verse, and as I was watching this, so I'm going to save this until the end, then I'm going to open my cards completely.
I will say that was the movie I was watching this morning. It was Spider-Verse, because I watched No Way Home a couple weeks ago, so it was still very much fresh in my mind, and I hadn't watched Spider-Verse in a while, so I was just kind of like, okay, let me revisit this, and I was like, oh, damn. Especially, we're going to get to it, but one of the heroes in this, I was like, this is the most perfect casting. Why have they not done it in live action yet? And I think you know who I'm talking about.
I think I know who you're talking about. But that will be one of the categories when we will get into the meat or the main topic of the show. But before that, we do love to play games here.
And before we get into that real quick, disclaimer for any Marvel fans that think they're going to come at us. The categories decide this. This is not us. This is us going by the categories that are given to us. So therefore, let's play our game. Jarvi, introduce our game.
This is PLD's favorite game. We started this, I think, way back in, I think it was 2018, 2019, when you started Class Action. One of the things that had to be in the show is a discussion about Ed Harris. And so...
Maybe one day I'll get one about Heath Ledger.
Sorry?
Maybe one day I'll get one about Heath Ledger.
We should have done that on your birthday. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
That would have been the time to do it. Real quick, shout out to the celebrity in our chat. Movie Trivia Schmodown competitor Sean Wingblade in the chat saying there's only one correct answer, and that's Spider-Verse. We'll see.
I hear where it's coming from, Sean. Jean is a French version of Sean Wingblade. Is Jean. Wingblade. Jean Wingblad. Anyway, Ed Harris. We will be creating or recasting Ed Harris in both movies. In some cases, we just make up a new role for him, kind of tweak the story a little bit, or just recast him as one of the characters. So which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with No Way Home, I think.
No Way Home? Okay. My both picks this time, I usually go with the jokey ones. They're serious ones now.
Okay.
There's not a lot. I didn't go crazy on these ones.
One of them is kind of jokey and one of them is actually serious because I thought, okay, that would actually be pretty good. My No Way Home one would be an alternate universe J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh wow. I can totally see that.
Because I want a scene with Ed Harris and J.K. Simmons arguing about Spider-Man. Or just both just being like, oh, he's a menace.
J.K. and Ed Harris have to play brothers in something. I mean, they're freaking tailor-made for that.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Imagine just like the two of them ending up on like each other's show. Like some kind of weird Alex Jones InfoWars shit.
I want to see that. Both of them yelling at each other. That's a cool one. That's a good pick, man.
What was your
pick? My Ed Harris casting as for No Way Home. I want to see Ed Harris play a different kind of Doctor Strange. Yep. I want an older Doctor Strange, a bit more grizzled, more angry. Because I feel like the one nitpick about No Way Home could be that he was a little lenient. He was a little soft giving into Spider-Man's demands. So I feel like if
you think multiverse Ed Harris, yeah.
Actually, multiverse Doctor Strange would have worked also. I just would have recast him as your Benedict Cumberbatch, as it like the Benedict Cumberbatch version of Doctor Strange. Weird choice, I know.
No, I kind of
want to see it.
I see it. I definitely see it. Shout out to Reefism in the chat. I think Ed Harris could have been Green Goblin in No Way Home.
Friggin' awesome as Dafoe is.
We go by our favorite line. He's up on the glider.
I'm
up here.
Yeah.
You walked into the wrong goddamn universe.
The wrong goddamn universe. What the hell's the matter with you, man? I hope.
What the hell's the matter with you, Spider-Man?
I hope that people realize what we're doing here whenever we're quoting The Rock. This is from The Rock. This is Ed Harris. The shower room scene. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's one of the best scenes in cinema ever.
The Rock is mandatory viewing if you watch this show. If you haven't, didn't you guys do an episode on The Rock?
Yeah, we did The Rock versus Con Air. Like a perfect match. Like The Rock is gonna win, but it's a perfect matchup because they're so freaking similar.
That's a tough one. I'm glad I wasn't on that one.
we could redo that. Go like whatever Action Movie Anatomy started doing they started redoing the movies, so we could do that with you because we didn't do that with you before.
Yeah, I'll be down.
Could be like a special for that 100th episode or something.
Class Action Rewind.
Yeah. Oh yes, I love that. So we got our No Way Home picks. What do you have at Harry says in Spider-Verse?
This one might hurt your heart. I'm recasting Nick Cage with Ed Harris.
Same. Exactly the same. Same here. And I have in my notes. Don't get offended by this. But it works. It's like the perfect casting for him.
Yeah. And like when Cage would go off and like those long spiels of like a 1935 detective, like I could hear Ed Harris's voice in that. And I was just like, yes, that would be perfect for Ed Harris. As much as we love Nick Cage. Also, Nick Cage is Ghost Rider. So he's one that you could swap out.
I would never swap it out, but for just this game, I'm okay with it. Have you seen Ed Harris in Just Cause? I don't think I've seen Just Cause.
Yes, I have seen Ed Harris in Just Cause.
POD has probably seen. He's seen every Ed Harris.
POD has seen. I would love to know if there's an Ed Harris project that POD hasn't seen.
No. He did the Harris stunts where he watched every movie from Ed Harris from top to finish. So he's seen everything. Like 100% of his filmography, he's seen.
I'm pretty sure he's also been to see Ed Harris perform on stage. I'm pretty sure he's told me that once. Yeah,
he has met him as well. Yeah, he went backstage and he got an autograph or something.
Imagine being a fly on that wall. I hope he wore the Ed Harris t-shirt. Just so you guys also know, one day we are going to be doing an episode solely on what would Ed Harris play. That's going to be coming up at some point. So just so you guys are ready for that.
Or just top 10 Ed Harris movies. Something about him.
Yeah. And the POD is in every Ed Harris, whatever. I don't want to know how far that goes.
Oh, I think he's done like around 60 movies. Something would be my prediction. Actually, I got no clue. I just ballparked it. I'm checking it out now. So he has, oh my God, he has 109 credits.
Is that just actor credits or is that overall?
That's actor credits. Wow. That's actor credits. That is crazy. Of course, there's a lot of 109, but there's a lot of like, or not a lot of, but he started in TV, so there's a few episodes here and there. Yes. But still.
Reefism is correct. Coincidentally, Ed Harris is the villain in National Treasure Book of Secrets with Nick Cage. Could he potentially be in National Treasure 3?
Oh, doesn't he die, though?
We can bring him back to life.
Dude, the news that came out about National Treasure 3, that it could be happening.
That had you very excited.
I got so damn excited. Both of these movies are some of my favorite adventure movies ever. Oh my God. And they were talking about doing the TV series, which I'm definitely not on board with because as good of a cast as you can muster, Nick Cage has to be in this for people to get excited. Just has to be that way.
It'd be like redoing The Mummy without Brendan Fraser. Oh, wait.
Okay, if they get TC fucking Legend to do a TV series and in National Treasure, I will be on. That's the only.
That's the only exception.
Caveat that yeah. That's the only exception. I would accept it.
Okay, I love you, TC, but that one was a bit of a miss. Anyway, let's move on to the trial that I don't even think even Matt Murdock himself would want to take on.
Oof.
This is a tough one. By the way, before we go into this, full spoilers for a movie that came out in 2019.
Spider-Verse came out in 2018, I think.
2018, and a movie from 2021. So
that's right.
There you go. Full spoilers. No Way Home versus Into the Spider-Verse. Jarvi, what's our first category?
Our first category is going to be better heroes. So this can entail just your characters and or the performances as well. So both these movies have stacked casts. So you can either you can get one actor or performance as a decider, or you can just freaking talk about all of them. Take it away, Matty.
Okay,
I'm gonna just throw you to the wolves.
Okay. While the cast of Into the Spider-Verse is indeed stacked, and it's a different hero, we're so used to getting Peter Parker as the main Spider-Man. I did like that while I didn't grow up with the comics around Miles Morales, obviously I knew of the character's existence, but it's not a character that I've necessarily gone deep on. I thought the story was incredible. It was a coming-of-age story. We're going to obviously get to the whole story points later on in the episode. But as far as heroes go,
I know where you're going.
Porky Pig in a Spider-Man outfit just does not. I don't care for it. I really don't care. I really don't care for it. That was the one part of Spider-Verse that I was like, I was like, why the fuck do we need this? And if you go to No Way Home, we have the Spider-Man who like I grew up with in Tobey Maguire. Like I remember vividly going to the very first Spider-Man movie and my granddad being there arguing with the guy because I was just about to turn 12 and the movie was a 12A and the guy wasn't going to let me in. I think I had like a couple months before I turned 12.
Oh, wow.
And like my granddad was like arguing with the guy, come on, just let us in. Like I'm with him. It's fine. It's a comic book movie. Who cares? And then you have Andrew Garfield, who puts on, in my opinion, the performance of his life. I think this is his best performance. Granted, I haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom. Many people say that's his best. But for me, out of everything I've seen Andrew Garfield in, this is his number one top performance I've ever seen him pull in. This specifically the moment, and apparently this was like a improv thing where he rescues MJ and then he says, "Are you okay?" And she looks up at him and says, "Are you okay?" And he just started crying. Improv? That was improv. And I was just like, Jesus, man, like this dude can act his ass off. And then you've got Tom Holland, who is essentially
That's the role of his career. That's the role of his career.
He if you go up to Joe Average on the street and you say, who is Spider-Man? Like out of all the actors who have played Spider-Man, who is Spider-Man to you? Most of them are probably going to say Tom Holland. And
most probably would say Tom Holland. I think Tobey Maguire is the second choice, and third one
I would say Tobey because that's the Spider-Man that I grew up with. So I would personally say Tobey. And like this whole No Way Home was very much a redemption for Andrew Garfield as well. I feel like while it was Tom Holland's movie, Andrew Garfield was really the one that like really took the spotlight, and everyone was like, "Wow, like we were wrong about this dude playing Spider-Man. Like we want to see more of the Amazing Spider-Man movies," which everyone hated at first. Now people were clamoring for the third one. Yeah, but you have taste. So that's okay.
Wow.
And then you have Doctor Strange, who kind of let it down a little bit. I feel like they could have used use Doctor Strange a little bit better. But then you have Ned as well. I feel like Ned is a really good like sidekick hero.
The guy in the chair.
He's the guy in the chair. Exactly. Every Spider-Man.
You can take the guy out of the chair. You can never take the chair out of the guy.
Exactly. So I am going with No Way Home.
Yeah, I figured you were going there, and your reasoning for No Way Home, the nostalgia and the way they brought those characters back, is why I'm going with Spider-Verse, because I think the gimmick, as awesome as it was very much built on nostalgia, and it's completely fine. I think nostalgia is a great tool to use, but why I'm going with Spider-Verse is they had pretty much no pre-established characters. Every character was new. All of the voice performances were fresh, and I would watch each of those heroes in their own movies. Yes, even Peter Parker, Spider-Ham, even him, I would watch in a separate movie. The way these heroes, these characters had chemistry together. Jake Johnson, who usually just does, very jokey comedies. He never gets to take himself seriously, at least in most of the movies that I've seen him in. In this one, sure, he has his comedic beats, but he's like really toned down in this one, and it freaking works. He has deep, dramatic moments that just, blew me away. So I'm going with Spider-Verse because it had sort of a non-existent base to build up upon, and still I friggin' was on board with these characters, and I can't wait to see them again.
And we also can't forget to mention Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was the Prowler, right?
Yeah. So he kind of was like,
but he
was a hero to Miles.
Exactly. Oh, I'm gonna save my.
Okay. So you're going into the Spider-Verse.
I'm going Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Spider-Verse.
I like it. What's up next?
Next category, just as you started it, is better villains. We have to talk about the villains and the heroes separately, so I figured just have separate categories for both of them. And so if you don't mind, I'll just take it away because you started with the Prowler. I feel like Spider-Verse has, I'd say, Fisk and the Prowler as the two like really distinguished villains in this. And both of these villains,
you wouldn't count
I think Doc Ock does a decent job in there as well, and I like. There's Tombstone, there's Scorpion.
Was it Tombstone or was it Hammerhead?
I think it's Tombstone.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's Tombstone, and I'd say all of them are pretty forgettable, except for Doc Ock, who Catherine Hahn is just having not a renaissance. She's just freaking doing everything.
Having the time of her life.
Absolutely, but something about Kingpin and the Prowler, like when you give villains such heart, because both you can see why Fisk is doing the things he's doing. He wants his family back, and the Prowler, he has these like really emotional moments, connections with Morales that I would put up. So I would pick out these two as my main villains who I'm arguing for, and No Way Home. I think there's really just one who freaking steals the show completely, and that's Willem fucking Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
That the performance he gives as Green Goblin is, people were talking about an Oscar nomination for him.
I was one of them.
And I do love Alfred Molina as Doc Ock coming back. I think Jamie Foxx as Electro is kind of meh. I don't hate him as much as most people do. It's just Jamie Foxx just being cool. Jamie Foxx. I didn't mind him. I thought it was okay since we're dealing with the multiverse. So there can be some differences here and there. Lizard pretty much non-existent because it was a CGI performance with a few voice-ins. Sandman, same thing. They use pre-cut versions of the movie that he was in Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to No Way Home because of Willem Dafoe. That was such a nuanced performance, such a over-the-top performance that shouldn't have worked as well as it did, because it worked in the 2000s. Like, that was the time when that type of villainy worked, and he brought it to 2021, and he was even better than he was the first time around.
I will just jump straight to mine then.
Yeah.
I am also picking No Way Home solely off the back of Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn went from this social media meme of, you know, I was something of a blah myself.
And he says it.
He says it in this movie. He says it in the movie, and like at the start, you believe that he's like, oh wow, like maybe Norman has turned a corner. Maybe Norman does want to get home.
You really believe it.
But then you get the moment with the Spidey sense, and then he's like, Norman's on sabbatical, honey. And I was like, that's creepy as shit. Never say that again. And then he just proceeds to beat the absolute dog shit out of Spider-Man. And then you find out it's Dafoe himself doing those stunts. And it's just like...
Is he?
Yeah. That's Dafoe. Dafoe did all the action sequences himself. That was one of his demands for him to be in the movie, was that he do the action sequences.
And he hasn't aged either.
No. And also it's like, I didn't like the original portrayal of his, of Norman Osborn. I just thought he was a bit of a creep.
Right.
This one, I fucking hated him. Like,
he kills Aunt May.
Kills Aunt May, tries to bait Peter 1 into killing him, ends up stabbing Peter 2. And just the smug. There's that one part where they're fighting in the apartment block, and he's got Tom like held up, and Tom's just punching him in the face over and over, and he just smiles, and there's just blood, and he's just grinning and laughing, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like, I wish I was the one punching you in the face right now, because like, oh, he was just so damn good. And the laugh, that was like, to me, up there with the Joker laugh.
Exactly.
Like, now the next person who plays the Green Goblin has to have a Green Goblin laugh, as well as like the next person who plays the Joker having a Joker laugh. There has to be that sadistic, twisted, like unhinged behind the eyes kind of laugh that comes with playing Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin. Willem Dafoe's the man. Like, he
could have played the Joker as well. I feel like he would have been an awesome Joker.
I hope one day he gets a shot at it, because I think he would be absolutely, even if he just voices the Joker.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If he did like an animated version of the Joker, we know that HBO is doing a whole mess around of everything going on, but yeah, Willem Dafoe all day.
This category is just named the Willem Dafoe category.
Yeah,
because better villain is why we're both going for No Way Home.
Where would you, after this, where would you put Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, like all-time villains? Ballpark figure, because he's top 5.
Not top 5. An argument could be made for definitely top 15, probably in my top 10. Yeah, because there's like, if we start talking about like top 10 villains already, it's a stacked category. So
I I remember leaving the first viewing of it thinking, yeah, Willem Dafoe crushed that. If he didn't even get nominated for an Oscar.
I mean, I get that because I get that. I don't agree with it, but I get it. I feel like he's getting all the recognition he needs already, so I'm okay with that one. So off to our third category.
Yep.
This one's a bit more intricate. We get to really like dive into the story elements and the technicalities of it. This one is better use and depiction of the multiverse. Because both these movies use the multiverse in their own way, in their similar ways, but which movie did it better?
I would have to say Into the Spider-Verse. Simply because No Way Home, what part of the multiverse do we actually get to see? We get to see a shot of something that was also at the end of Loki that we've seen before. The big purple, like, center of the multiverse. We see a few cracks in the sky with some shapes that are coming out of it,
which is a cool kind of a nugget.
It's a cool concept, but like Into the Spider-Verse is like a damn acid trip, which you got to think like journeying through if like the universe has just started to crack and everything just came pouring through, you would probably assume you're on some kind of like psychedelic ayahuasca trip. You'd be like, what the hell is going on? So, and like just all the, like, even with it being like an acid trip, like just like all the bright colors and everything just merging together, all the weird shapes. I was just like, yeah, that looks cool. A few cracks in the sky, okay, that's cool, but like I'm picking like Into the Spider-Verse for this one.
Like this static electricity thing about the visuals that Spider-Verse uses, and there's like some ironic bits in it as well, because if you think about No Way Home has Spider-Man who creates the multiverse through Doctor Strange. In Spider-Verse, it's the villain Fisk who creates the multiverse, and it's the multiverse created by Fisk that creates a Miles Morales Spider-Man, because that's the spider from the multiverse.
Yeah.
So if you think about it that way, it is so well connected, so well overlapped that I'm gonna pick Spider-Verse as well for this one. And I think it's the story and the creativity of what Spider-Verse does. It's this because was my main point. One of the biggest, not biggest, one of the nitpicks that you can sort of have about No Way Home is the fact that Doctor Strange a bit too easily agrees to help Peter. He's just, there's a spell. Do you remember the party of Camartage? Nope. Exactly. Let's fucking do it again. We pretty much blasted our memories ways about a party.
They make it into something that's like, oh yeah, we've done this plenty of times before.
And while he's doing it, he's telling Peter to stop. He should know better to just stop the fucking spell. Don't do it at all. I get it. The movie has to happen. But it was sort of like, okay, this was very avoidable as you were watching this. Whereas Spider-Verse has a huge machine that Kingpin has sort of
more grounded in reality, because
together.
You know that there could be some crazy scientist out there somewhere that comes up with a machine like a collider, and then the next thing you know, the whole if that came up on the news tomorrow, I'd be like, with the way the world's going right now, shit, I believe it.
Elon Musk, I'm pretty sure he has a freaking.
Don't give him any more ideas. Don't give Elon Musk any more ideas. He still hasn't finished the tunnel underneath Los Angeles. We don't need him messing around with the multiverse.
Are we not sure that he is from the multiverse? He doesn't seem like he's from this Earth.
I think he's from another planet. Like, together.
You heard it here, folks. Elon Musk, a multiverse villain or hero? You heard it here, folks. Elon Musk, a villain of the MCU.
Doctor Strange is on a bender. No one can convince me otherwise. I believe it.
That was a little Jameson for you right there.
He had the flask when he was coming down the stairs. And we have Reefism. Spider-Verse depicts the multiverse bad because animation can break more rules. That is also true.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think all of the visuals, we'll get to the visuals as well. But I think this Spider-Verse just had more, I don't know, creativity, like combining all of the multiverse, like even like building stuff like that came through the multiverse, not just characters. And that was an awesome thing to see. So yeah, we're both going with Spider-Verse on better use of the multiverse. Next category.
Stop the door. Hello. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
PLD.
Thanks, guys, for keeping the seats warm. Much love. I mean, my seat is pretty warm, but I think that's more down to my butt than anything. But we love you, buddy.
PLD, give us in the chat. Give us your Ed Harris recast for either No Way Home or Spider-Verse. If you can, just type a character.
Now we know you're watching, PLD. We'll say that our Ed Harris recast.
Don't say before. Don't say before he answers.
Okay.
I want to see if it aligns or not.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
going
continue
back
with
and watching the beginning.
no going back. Next one I feel is a bit of a cop-out, but it has to be discussed here, is better visuals or animation style.
Yeah.
So we're putting one of the, I don't know, highest budgeted...
Do you count CGI as an animation style? Because technically you are animating something and you're creating it. You're creating something that's not there and you're animating it. So
well, the point of the category is that CGI versus animation in this case. Okay, so which one has the better visuals? Because one is an animated movie, the other one is highly green screened and CGI'd altogether. Because even all of the bridge scenes, the final fight scene, everything is pretty much green screen. Yeah. Marvel movies, even though they could use a lot more practical sets, they don't really like to do that, except for Eternals, which did that.
Mando.
Oh my God, yes. Well, that is a whole different story. I feel like the better visual in this case, it just has to be Spider-Verse. As much as I love No Way Home, and there's nothing really to nitpick there, I feel like the green screen is used as well as it could be. I do love the freaking crack in the sky that you talked about when we actually get to witness the visualization of the multiverse. But Spider-Verse did something so original that had never been done in a comic book movie in that way. Sort of, it uses pretty much everything you had from in a comic book. Translated to the movie screen, mixed in with this awesome soundtrack, really hectic visuals that serve the story in an immense way. Like truly, they sort of overload you with all these visuals, music, hectic scenes, but it never gets boring or too confusing. You're locked in from start to finish. So this is all the way Spider-Verse for me.
Okay, interesting. See, this one I thought it was going to go one way, and then I found myself going another. As someone who has been to New York during the wintertime, I can honestly say there are very few more beautiful places on the planet than New York in the winter. Like New York when it's snowing out and you're walking through the streets just like as part of the crowd is one of the most incredible, calming experiences I've ever had. And I know PLD's a New Yorker. He can probably tell me I'm full of shit. It's horrible. But as a tourist, I find it pretty relaxing to just walk the streets, be part of the crowd. But I gotta give it to Spider-Verse just solely because the different animation styles, because you have the what's it, Penny Parker?
Yeah. We didn't talk about her.
Yeah, it's like a Japanese anime style, and then you have Porky Pig, that's like old school. I really could have done without him. But he's because obviously he is an old school Acme cartoon. I think it was Acme. Looney Tunes, whatever.
They even talk about it, just I am a cartoon, and then takes out the hammer and starts wrecking shit up.
Exactly. So you have old school Acme cartoon graphic, then you have an anime character, then you have a bunch of different, more up-to-date kind of cartoon animation characters. So it's really kind of different blendings of different styles all together. Whereas where No Way Home is a very beautifully made film, and the shots and the scenery and everything does look beautiful, I feel like Spider-Verse brings more to the table, brings more different things to the table. Like
it is more unique.
Yeah, all the characters, none of them look alike, really, other than the Peter Parkers. That's it. So I'm gonna give this one to Spider-Verse.
There we go. So we got the final category left, and it's a goodie. It's our favorite thing to discuss about these movies, and we just blatantly stole this phrase from Action Movie Anatomy.
Do you want to tell people what this category is, and all about it?
We're talking about which movie has the better fist pump moments, and a fist pump moment is whenever you're watching the movie. Whenever you're watching the movie, you're like in the cinema or just watching at home. If you're in the cinema with a friend, even if you're alone, something happens in the movie. You're just like you pump your fist and you look around. It's like, are you fucking seeing this? This is amazing. I can't wait to watch the rest of this movie. If you're watching at home, you're texting. I'm texting Matty, dude. You gotta fucking pull up Braveheart to 1 hour, 5 minutes in. Amazing things happen.
I'm like, Jarvi, you're texting me. I'm in jail right now. I get one phone call. I can't use it on you to talk about a movie.
I don't care that you're in the fucking prison. Have someone smuggle in their prison wallet a phone in there, and you just freaking pull it up on Netflix and you watch that scene. Don't ask me what a prison wallet is.
Kelly, we've been stealing fist pump moments since the show began.
Yeah, absolutely. This you can blame PLD on this one.
We didn't steal it. We inherited it. They aren't using it. They're not using it at the minute. So
Class Action started on Action Industries. So
that's true. Class Action did start on Action Industries.
Shared IP here.
Shared IP.
So anyway,
the fist pump. This is the Disney and Sony deal for the fist pump moment. For like fist pump moments are our Spider-Man. We can share the two.
PLD and Action Industries deal. So we're talking about which movie had the better fist pump moments, or just one single moment. I mean, where to start with these ones? Both these movies just have crazy good fist pump moments.
Right. Let me tell you. And I don't know, it's skipping towards the end.
No. Talk about him.
Miles Morales in the spider cave, the spider shed, and he gets the original Spider-Man suit. He doesn't do it. The only thing he does to it is take a fucking a spray can to it and spray paint parts of it.
It's the What's Up Danger scene.
Yep. And as someone who grew up in like skate culture, street culture, graffiti art, like that was just the coolest shit to me. And like you see him doing the graffiti. Oh yeah, I'm pretty much a walking piece of art myself. Well, what can I say? But like even the beginning of the movie where he does the expectations graffiti art, and then the last shot of him before he becomes Spider-Man is him spray painting his suit. It's like it's still him. Like he's still that kid. He's just taking on the role of Spider-Man now. I was like, dude, that is the coolest shit. And then when he takes on, then there's the scene where he takes on Kingpin by himself. There's the leap of faith scene.
I feel like everything I know this gets talked about a lot, that this whole movie is a fist bump moment, but Spider-Verse like actually is a fist bump moment just from start to finish. You talked about the What's Up Danger moment. That is not just out of these two. That is one of my favorite cinematic moments. It's in my top 10 ever, like cinematic moments ever. The way he gears up at the basement, spray paints the suit, and then when he's like, it's weird to say that the cinematography is great in an animated movie, but the way he's standing on the side of the building, he pushes off, he goes head down, but the camera is still from a far away, showing him just stop in the air and then start falling, and the music comes on. What's Up Danger?
I'm giving this to No Way Home.
I know why.
solely because of there is the moment where Andrew comes through for the first time. Everyone in the cinema was screaming.
Estonians don't do that. Everyone did at that moment.
We knew it was coming. Like, I know that they had to play coy and everything. We knew it was coming.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
Toby comes through, and everyone's just like, "Fuck yeah!" I lost it. I went to see it with. Shout out to Rachel Silverstream. I went to go watch it with her for the first time.
Oh, really?
Like I lost it when Toby came out. I was just like, my fucking dude is here. my Spider-Man that I grew up with is here. Like, he's getting his redemption. Andrew, like, on top when they're on top of the school building, and Andrew's like giving his speech about MJ, his speech about Gwen. He says, "I lost Gwen, my MJ," and then he saves MJ. I was like, bro,
that is such a great moment, and we have to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 a little bit. Like, people love to hate on that movie. I'm actually one of the few ones.
I really like that movie.
I don't even like it. I actually love that movie, and I don't mind the Electro or even the Rhino moments. I think it's one of the best love stories ever in the comic book movies, with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. The way he loses her during that fall, that is one of the most heartbreaking things ever. And one of the biggest fist bump moments in No Way Home for me, for that reason, is exactly that moment where Andrew catches Zendaya.
Yeah.
What a freaking moment.
It was like, I don't think I've ever got that emotional watching a comic book movie than watching No Way Home.
What about when Toby got stabbed?
Oh, dude, I was like,
no. Did you think they're gonna kill?
I thought he was gonna die. I thought, oh god, of course they're gonna kill him. Of course he's gonna be the martyr. Like, one of them's gonna have to die. I thought maybe it would be Andrew.
There has to be some loss. There.
And it was just like, haven't we lost enough? Like, with May. Like, May was the one. It was like watching the first Spider-Man movie all again, watching Uncle Ben die. And I was like, of course, because Ben never gets mentioned in the MCU Spider-Man. We don't know what happened to Ben. We don't know if he died or not. We don't know if he's just off somewhere. Like, we see the suitcase with his initials on. We don't know if he died or not. And it turned, like, it being May to go instead of Ben. It's like, shit, man, I never would have thought of that. And, dude, Willem Dafoe just laughing while he did it.
That's why you love to hate him.
And then
hate to love him.
You get the moment where, like, Tom is just beating on him, beating the crap out of him. And he says, no, I want to kill you myself. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. And then you get the moment, like you said, just before the stabbing, where Tom's about to kill him, and then Toby stops him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, come on, man. And he even says it in the lab. He's like, that's what we do. We help them. We got to help them more. That's what we do. And I was just like, oh, man. Beautiful. And I know that I went on quite a bit there, so
no. Dude, that's what these fist bump moments are for. We discuss them here, and one of the scenes that I never figured we would get is Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland just talk about how to swing, how to Spider-Man, how to limber up, and Tobey Maguire cracked Andrew Garfield's back as Spider-Man.
Oh, like, dude, that was so great.
That was just so much class and so much humor and so much heart in such a simply written scene.
Yeah. Those three looked like they were having the time of their life filming that scene.
Absolutely. Definitely. As great as these moments are, the What's Up Danger moment, for me, takes it by a landslide. And that's just, and I freaking loved, I cheered at the cinema. Something about the moment where Miles Morales just takes a leap of faith. Everything that he's been building up towards, it's been such a hard journey for him because he's the new Spider-Man. He's the only one who's not getting the hang of it, pun intended. So at that moment, and then when he finally swings into, say, Peter Parker, when they're at the collider, just comes in when he's like all camouflaged, gets in between Fisk and them. I don't know. This like Spider-Verse just has those moments throughout the movie, and I have to go with Spider-Verse in this one.
Okay. Yeah. So we got a couple of new names in chat that I've not seen before. Bully Maguire. Bully Maguire.
Well, it kind of works because we do know that Tobey Maguire hasn't been the nicest of celebrities at times.
Yeah, he's had his moments. He's calmed down a bit in his old age, but
I hope so.
Maybe we'll get a Bully Maguire moment in the reissue when it comes out next week.
Oh yeah.
They're putting out 11 minutes extra footage. Maybe we'll get a Bully Maguire or maybe an emo Tobey scene. Even better.
Oh, the Spider-Verse had the emo Tobey scene also at the intro.
Yep.
Love that. And also Lady Gamora.
Lady Gamora herself.
Seen her here either.
Karen Gillan herself is in the chat.
Yep, that's her.
Oh, I was just watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse a good few minutes ago on TV, and yet here we are. Yeah, here we are. Anyway, I like both films, so yeah. I mean, as you can tell, we love both these movies. It seemed only fitting that these two movies could go up against each other. I don't think if we put any other Spider-Man movie up against either of these films, like I don't think it would be close. So these are the two, in my opinion, these are the two top Spider-Man movies we've had so far. Like this
agreed by far
1 and 2. And with that being said, Jarvi, if you want to give us the score.
The jury has convened. We have a decision. It is 6-4 to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The animated Spider-Verse took it. I know the judge responsible for this outcome, but he had to speak his heart. Like I'll call it, animation wins. Not every time. Like this, I'm one of the people who picks live action easily over animated stuff. This is an indication of how fucking amazing Spider-Verse is. If you guys
only knew how hard me and Paul have tried to get this man to watch Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels and how much we've been pushing him to watch those.
I'm watching The Bad Batch.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep watching it.
That's a good thing to watch before Andor comes out.
Oh, yeah.
But if you just want to give your quick overall thoughts on both these movies before we start to wind down, and we can look forward to the re-release coming out next week.
Yeah, is that going to be on Disney Plus?
No, it's in cinema. It's out in theaters first.
Okay, interesting. It's not coming out here, so I was thinking, is it coming out on streaming?
I looked at the world. They have like a calendar of world releases. I think in the UK it's September 2nd, and I think you guys get it like a couple weeks after us.
Seriously, it's like you saw Estonia on there.
I'm pretty sure I did. There's a whole website with like the whole release calendar for it. So I don't know if I want to go.
It hasn't. None of the distributors have promoted out here, but again, that's that. I can't.
I mean, if they put it on Disney Plus for you guys, that'd be even better.
It's not going to happen now. They're not going to. They're not that like geo specific here, but Spider-Man. I think what was Across the Spider-Verse is the next installation in the.
That's the next one, yeah.
In the animated Spider-Man movies, it was supposed to come out this fall, I think, or even this summer.
They pushed it back to next year.
It got delayed until next year. So for both movies, a sort of a re-release or a sequel is coming out. So
when would you like to see Tom Holland return? Or do you think he even should?
I think it should. I hope hope he die. I would like for Tom Holland to stay in the MCU family and have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have their own sort of Sonyverse adventures. I know it could be a bit too much, but I don't care. I just want to see them both get their own movies, or just have them both somehow.
We're getting Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty, so there is every chance we could see these three together again.
I don't think I necessarily need to see them all together, because I feel like that was such a special moment. I wouldn't mind it, but still,
of course, I'd still watch the hell out of it.
For sure. So in that sense, I would rather have each of them continue in their own separate universes.
Because there was the moment in No Way Home where Andrew Garfield said, I'd never had brothers before.
Oh yeah. There was that moment.
Okay, here is my one nitpick I have with No Way Home. This is my only nitpick with that movie. I hate Nickelback. Like I hate. Nickelback. I hate Nickelback with a
Matty,
passion.
You were doing so well.
Hear me out. Let me finish. I think they messed up not having the bit where the three of them run and jump.
When the hero
they should have had the Chad playing hero at that moment. And I've seen people on YouTube and TikTok like cut that song into that moment perfectly. I feel like if they did that, that is what holds it back from being a 10 out of 10 movie for me. It's a 9.5 out of 10 movie for me, solely because they didn't use hero in that moment. If they'd done it would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I need to watch that cut on YouTube as soon as this is over. I'm watching this.
Yeah. It's good. I listened to Hero for like 2 hours on repeat before we went to watch the movie. I just had it on repeat, and I do not like Nickelback at all. I cannot stand Nickelback, but I love that. That song is such a banger. If it had been in the song and we'd have done music, I probably would have had to give it to No Way Home.
If you want to listen to us talk about movie soundtracks and Nickelback, I mean Chad Kroeger's Hero, there is an episode of, I think, Scoundrels, where we do top 10 soundtracks created for movies. So yeah, there's that episode out there, and spoiler alert, Hero is in that list.
Hero
is on that list. But yeah, anyway, if you're ever wondering, you can watch one of those movies, No Way Home or Into the Spider-Verse. With this jury has decided, it should be Spider-Verse.
This jury has decided it should
be Spider-Verse. That's your takeaway from today's class action.
Shout out to our what do they call it in the court? Our viewing gallery, Reefism, Kelly, The Door, PLD,
friends,
Alan,
we call them friends,
Lady Gamora, everyone,
Christo,
all of our friends that have joined us. Christo, of course, probably the number one supporter of this show here every week. We love to see him here, and
maybe we get Christo on at some point, because he lives in town. He's like my actual buddy in real life. So
there we go. We get and we've got another couple of guests lined up to come on soon. I imagine we'll probably get PJ back on at some point as well.
For sure,
we need to get PJ back on, and Lego, what do you owe?
So we didn't mention. Sorry, we didn't mention Lego.
Lego, we love you. You know that.
Oh no.
You know what? Does Nickelback have a song about being forgotten? I'm not good.
I think Legoland was here before Christo was here, so that's your takeaway.
Lego is the number one Nick Cage fan I've ever met. Number one Lord of the Rings fan. She's just like genuinely one of the coolest people I know. So it goes without saying. Anyway, now the damage control has been done. Jarvi, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi. You usually can't find me on Twitter, even though I'm on there. And of course, here weekly on Tuesdays on PLD Projects, discussing movies on Class Action.
You guys can find me on Twitter, because Jarvi likes it when I pronounce my R's. and I like it when he rolls his.
Twitter.
On you can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find my band. Just look up Mourner, Mourner. You can find me here every Tuesday talking movies with Jarvi and PLD. Hopefully, PLD will be back with us next week. I know quite a few people are pretty happy when it's just you and me, but we do need a captain to steer the ship sometimes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Jarvi, without further ado, if you want to sign us out.
Justice has been served.